Good morning. So you are an Ohio DODD provider and you are wondering why you are not getting clients. Why aren't you getting clients? And I can tell you the reason why you aren't getting clients, but before I do, I know you're thinking one of these three things. One, you think you're not getting clients because the market is oversaturated. And if this is your thing, put one in the chat. You think you aren't getting clients because the market is too saturated. Or two, you think essays already have their favorites, they already have who they work with, and you don't have a chance. Or three, you have no idea. You just know that you're responding to referrals, and then there's crickets. You aren't hearing anything back. I meet with providers all the time, and they always tell me one of these three things. But in fact, it's not any of those things. One, the market is not oversaturated because there's tens of thousands of clients looking for providers. They need non-medical transportation providers. They need home care providers. They need day program providers, and the list goes on and on and on. There's people, it's not like there's a cap on how many people enter this yearly. No, there's no cap. People are always entering in the DODD system. And so if you're an Ohio DODD provider, you always have access to all these people. So why aren't you getting clients? I want to show you something that's going to blow your mind. The reason you are not getting clients is because you don't understand this process. I'm going to draw you the referral. Don't laugh at my spelling. The referral, or my handwriting in that regard, the referral map, okay? I want to show you how referrals actually work in this system so that you understand. So first, of course, a referral is created. The support administrators go online and create the referral. In some counties, this is by email, where they create the referral and they just send you an email. And then in other counties, and actually, I'm going to make this smaller because I really want you to understand how this goes. So let's make this part smaller. I want to give you a visual of how this works so you understand. So let's put referral map up here, and then we're going to discuss the process. So like I was saying, first the referral get created, right? Some counties have the support administrator sending out an email, and then in other counties they have it where they upload it to the system. Like I know Cuyahoga, they uploaded all the referrals to the system, and then you can just go list by list, name by name, and read each referral and respond. But either way, the referral is created by the essay. Okay? After that, after the referral is created, of course, providers respond, right? All the providers who see this referral respond. And this is why you're thinking it's oversaturated, because you're thinking, okay, so many providers are responding. How would the family know who to choose? The support administrator knows the same thing, that a lot of people are responding. However, this part, how you behave during that process, it makes all the difference in the world. How you respond once that referral is created, and how you respond to that referral is what's actually making you hit or miss the target. It's not the other providers who's responding. It's not how many of those are responding. It's what are you saying in that response. And I can tell you right now, a lot of people during this time, they want to say, hi, my name is Crystal. My agency is named XYZ. We believe in community support and inclusion and engagement, so on and so on and so on. And then they want to tell you about their agency, but the support administrator has to do something very important during this time. They have to decide what list they're going to give to the guardian or the client to be able to make a choice. So they have to look at the providers who responded, and from that response, narrow the list, because they don't want to give the guardian or the client a list of 1,000 people for them to choose. The whole point of the support administrator is to make this process easier for the client. So what do they do? How do they do that? They take this process, they look over all the people, all the providers who responded during this process, and they narrow it down. So how you respond is what gets you into the short list. The list that they're going to actually give to the client or the client guardian. So you want to say things during this process that's going to make you stand out. You want to talk about, if you're applying for non-medical transportation, what do they need to know about you? They don't need to know that you stand on 3 values: compassion, health, and whatever, integrity. That's not really speaking to what they need. They need to know that you're reliable, that if you take somebody else to this location, you're already going to that location, so they know that you know how to get there. You must be doing a good job since that person is getting there on time, so on and so forth. They need to know things that's going to make you make it into this short list. So when you're responding to referrals, you want to make sure you're saying things about your agency that's going to make you stand out. Or even if you're an independent provider, you want to make sure you're saying things that's going to make you stand out during this process so you can get added to the short list. And then that short list, of course, goes to the family so that the family can choose. So you aren't going against, the family isn't choosing. The short list, let me say this, the short list is usually probably only 3 to 5 providers. 3 to 5 providers, right? So what you want to focus on is how you make it to the short list. How your response is standing out between the other providers who responded, which we can say is probably about 30. We can say probably 30 people responded in all. And then how you're going to be one of those 3 to 5 providers who make it to the short list that the family receives. This is what's going to make all the difference in the world. If you put your focus on the things that's going to qualify you for the short list, I promise you, you're going to get responses. If you take your time and not talk about your agency, but you specifically hone in on what it is specifically that SA is stating in the referral. If they're saying that the person needs non-medical transportation, if they're saying that they need home care, think about, even if they don't put on a referral, this person has had issues getting to their day program before. They're looking for non-medical transportation, right? Even if they don't say this person has had issues getting to their day program before, there's some pain points that you know is associated with transportation. They need to get to work on time. So you know that reliable transportation is going to be top priority. So that's something you want to talk about. And even when you talk about it, you don't want to say it in a generic way. You don't want to say, oh, reliability, safety, and respect is the 3 core values we stand on. No, you don't want to say it generic. You want to say we have multiple, if you're an agency, we have multiple drivers who drive in that area, and then we have substitute drivers because we want to make sure that individuals get there on time. We do this, and you want to say specifically what it is that you do in a way that communicates it as a human and not like a brochure, but human to human. I think like people, they for some reason think that sounding professional is robotic, and I think that's where people are losing the opportunity to show who they are as a human, and they're missing the mark, and then they don't make it to this short list. If you think about this, if you have children and you're trying to find a daycare for your child, you have children and you're trying to find a bus driver for your child to make sure they're going to get there safely, think about the things you think about. Even if you have a day program, think about the things you think about when you are sending your child to daycare. And you want to talk about those type of things. The things you worry about as a parent is the things you want to talk about to make sure you're letting them know why you are the best choice. so that you make it to that short list, so that the family receives your name and they can choose from there. The family is usually going to call all 3 to 5 providers. That's why this short list is created, so that the family can be able to have a couple people they can call to decide from, and they can make their choice from there. So you want to make it to the short list. Once you make it to that short list, you get to talk to the family, and you get to tell them about the things that's important to you about your organization, whether you're independent or agency. You get to have that conversation then. But what's important in this step is how you respond to make it to that short list. So I hope this diagram helps. I'm going to be breaking this down even further. I'm going to talk about the different things you want to state to make it to the short list in my upcoming CEO session. You definitely want to be there. If you're trying to understand how to close the gap between responding to people on the portal and actually making them your client, you definitely want to join me in a Saturday CEO session. I'll see you then. I'll include the link.